To start the game, his energy, his rebounding, his ability at the basket. I've said it all year. You could see his timing was off a little bit, but his presence defensively, like I really, I don't think he gets enough credit how good of a defensive player he is and how much he helps us. And I thought tonight it was a lot of that.
The Joel's presence tonight enabled you to hit the shots that you weren't hitting in Miami.
Well, not in the first half. No one can make a shot. So, really, and I thought both teams, there were open shots, but I thought this was the best defensive game in the first half by both teams. I didn't think there was a lot of open shots. And then we got it going finally, 27 and 31 in the second half. That was good. Fell on a couple of things that we liked in the second half, and we got the spacing that we wanted.
You ran speaking of things you liked in the second half, you ran that double drag a lot with Joel, Matisse, and James.
Yeah.
What were you seeing there?
Well, number one, it was the easiest way to get the ball to Joel, and also it allowed us to go downhill. I liked it with Tyrese as well. I thought both of those were great. That was something we saw. I think we ran it once in the second quarter, and we saw what we could get out of it, and we talked about it at halftime.
Just speaking of Tyrese and getting downhill a little bit, again, the first half, I think we took 3 shots, he didn't score, and obviously he erupts in the second half. Was there something you told him?
To go get the ball. And we got him the ball more. It's just tough, and I keep saying that. We have James, who's a great ball handler, and Tyrese a lot of times just kind of goes away. And so, and I told them all, we got to make a conscious effort. That can't happen. We can't let him go away. It's too important to our team.
At the same time, how it seemed like any time James was not on the court, you guys didn't really have much success getting into anything. How important was it for him to be able to get you guys?
That's the point I've been making with him. It's funny. We obviously love his points, but what James does for us more than everything, he organizes us. He gets us to the right spots. He gets the ball to the right guys. That's so valuable, especially in the playoffs.
It also looked like Matisse actually finally kind of began looking like himself.
Yeah, it was good. That was the Matisse we need tonight. The first stint you could see, the second stint in that second quarter, I thought he found his legs. Really important for us.
It looked like there were times tonight where Joel catch the ball and kind of be shocked that he caught the ball. Is there any kind of understanding of what the mask does to his vision?
Yeah, I have no understanding of that. I can't imagine, honestly. I just can't. Goggles, guys play with those, and the mask, the thing is moving around. I don't know how you play with it, but he is, and I'm happy he's out there.
You spoke this afternoon about Joel's effect on the defense and the rebounding and how it sort of manifests itself in ways we don't see. Did you see an instant?
Yeah, you're right. It's what he does. Just his presence. Got some tough rebounds. For us all through the game. I thought every time they made a run and we needed a big rebound, Joel was the one that got it. And the stuff we can run, even though it's not for Joel, but he's involved. Just his presence allow us to run a lot of other things that we couldn't run without him.
You said to George at the end of the third quarter that Joel looked tired. You saw him out there in the first 3 minutes of the fourth. What was your thinking there, both A and B, in terms of
he talked me into it. Honestly, I wasn't sure if we should do it. And then we looked at it. We thought 2 minutes. I had an extra timeout, and I knew that. So that's why we did that, because I knew once I was going to use both while he was off the floor just to give more rest. And then we made a little bit of a run that allowed me to sit him a little longer. So it worked out. But that's typically something we don't do.
And at the same time, you said before the game you weren't sure with his conditioning how he'd look. Obviously, he played a bunch of minutes.
Yeah, he felt great. It's funny. I do think, and I can say I've experienced this, I thought his first 8 minutes was the most energy. And then I thought he was spent the rest of the game. You know what I mean by that? He was so excited to play. You could tell from that point on, he just was a warrior. He just played. But he wasn't fresh. I think he'll be much better the next game.
What were your impact he had the first 2 games? I would assume that was mainly Joel.
Yeah, it was Joel.
Just having a body.
No doubt. Bigger guy, bigger body, just better presence.
Doc, what were your expectations for Joel, workload-wise, production-wise, and how did they...
I really didn't have any, honestly. I didn't know. I didn't know how it was going to shake out. I knew his presence would have an impact, so I was positive of that. And I actually said today, I said he'll rebound well because his size, and he'll be able to do that. But after that, I really didn't know, would he be rusty? Usually you turn the ball over a lot more when you don't play. I thought he did that early. He finally made that elbow jump shot late. I thought that was big for him. The one place we thought we can get him the ball was there. We did. And so moving forward, I think he'll have better rhythm there.
For him to be out there, 35, 38, close to 40 minutes, just his maturity and kind of how he's really blossomed this year.
He really has. Last 2 years, honestly. I think it started last year with his conditioning and understanding how serious you have to be in this game, how serious of not just a player, but just the little things you do impact your entire team. And then this year, I think he came in better shape, even doing more with his teammates and leading. He's still young, and he's still growing up right in front of our eyes. It's a pretty cool thing.
When did you have a pretty good idea that he was going to play tonight?
I felt like he was going to play this morning, but I didn't know. But I felt like it. He did our whole walkthrough, which, again, we didn't do a lot. He didn't take a lot of shots, which made me start getting a little concerned. Doing walkthrough, like even afterwards, he didn't take any shots. But by mid-afternoon, I was pretty positive he's playing.
You played and you've been around a lot of people, but have you seen anybody who was able to overcome all the things that Joel has in his career?
I don't know, Keith. It's just that he gets beat up so much because he's so good. I always laugh, like the opposing coaches complain about him going to the foul line, and I complain, and I always say, well, stop fouling him, because he gets fouled a lot. He gets pushed a lot. And honestly, I guess Shaq probably went through the same thing, because how else are you going to stop him? And that's where you get the thumbs in the face and all these things to happen to him. And fortunately for him, he's able to block it out and keep playing.
We've talked about Danny's veteran presence for 2 years now with you. When you think about his performance in Game 2 and what he was able to do tonight, what does it say about that
Game
veteran?
6, we forget Danny played well in Game 6 in Toronto. So, listen, he's been on winning. Danny, there's nothing he's not seen or faced. And we laugh. He's never going too fast because he can't. So, he's actually just a very calm force for us. And he understands who he is, and we understand who he is.
Does his presence on the court maybe keep everybody else?
Definitely. Yeah, we forget last year we didn't have Danny in that Hawk series, and that hurt us. We needed that. We still got a lot of, as we call, youngins out there. So having that experience is good for us.
Did James do the hidden things tonight too?
Yeah,
Chasing
he does
down
every
rebounds.
night. I keep saying it. I know we want him to score 30, but I want him to run the team. And if he can get 30, I'm all for that too. But I think that's what he's doing and keeping us in the right place.
Can I ask you talking about running the team, right? If you notice, it's been like a trend. Like in the first half, he's scoring a lot of points. The second half, he's not really. Yeah. Is that a matter of running the team?
We put him in the right spots, but he does subtle things. The last 4 minutes, he